I, a 42-year-old female, got married 24 years ago. I decided that if I had a daughter, I would pass the dress and accessories on to her. I chose a simple, elegant dress rather than what was fashionable at the time because I wanted something timeless that people could wear for generations to come. I had my son, Mark, now 22 years old, a year after, and his father passed away when he was young. I raised Mark as a single mom for several years. I decided that when Mark married, I would give my dress and accessories to his wife. When I was 33, I met Rob, now 52 years old. I fell in love with him and we quickly married. He became a great father figure for Mark, and I was so excited to have a stepdaughter, Molly, now 24 years old. My relationship with Molly had a rocky beginning. I've been patient and gentle with her. I've offered to take her shopping or get her nails done. I asked Rob about her favorite foods and made sure to cook those. She made it clear that she didn't see me as her real mom. Years passed, and I never changed the way I treated Molly. My door was always open for her, but she never changed the way she thought about me. She called me a trophy wife to my face. If I ever threw a charity event, she would remark, "Wow, you're so generous with Dad's money." While she didn't say anything explicitly, I could tell she looked down on me for not having a college degree. A couple of years ago, I made a final offering to Molly. I brought her into my closet and showed her the dress and accessories and told her I would love for her to wear them at her wedding. Some alterations would have to be done. I am 5 feet 9 inches tall and a size 4, while Molly is 5 feet 4 inches tall and a size 8, but we could make it work. Molly scoffed and said I had archaic values and that the dress was trashy and walked out. That really hurt because she knew what that dress meant to me, and she didn't care. After that, I stopped making as much of an effort to build a relationship with her. 2 months ago, Mark proposed to his college sweetheart, Lucy, with whom I have a great relationship. When Lucy mentioned dress shopping, I showed her my dress. Lucy tried it on and it fit like a glove. She fell in love with it, and I told her the dress, shoes, and accessories were hers. She was so happy she literally cried. However, a couple of days ago, Molly reached out to me out of the blue to ask if the dress was still available. I told her I had given it to Lucy. She asked if I could get it back from Lucy since I offered it to her first. And I told her 1, she said she didn't want it. 2, it fits Lucy perfectly. And 3, Lucy is the only one getting married within the foreseeable future. Now Molly is saying I'm favoring Lucy over her because she's conforming to traditional standards of femininity, getting married, and being thin. That's absolute baloney. But it got me thinking that if the roles were reversed and Lucy was the one asking for the dress after initially turning it down, would I give it to her? Is Molly right that I'm favoring Lucy? Am I the antagonist? Now for an update. Wow, thank you for all of your kind words. I wanted to give an update to respond to general questions and comments. First, I want to say that the fact that most of the comments are not the antagonist is very reassuring. It makes me feel better about my decision to not give my dress to Molly. I saw some comments suggesting this, so I would like to let you know I already gave the dress to Lucy, and it's safe in her apartment now. Molly has already been bugging Lucy about the dress, but Lucy told me there's no way in heck she's giving it away. Some of you have also been wondering about Mark and Rob's responses. Mark is currently out of town on business, and I have had no communication with him on this matter. I'm sure he'll be supportive of Lucy, though. I did not bring this up to Rob because while Molly and I have a difficult relationship, I don't want to sow division between her and her father. However, Rob brought it up last night, saying Molly had contacted him on the matter. Rob was like, "You aren't going to give it to her, are you?" When I said no, he told me to promise him I would not give the dress to her. It was very comforting to know Rob is on my side. Another thing I want to get clear, I do not expect Molly to conform to certain standards. When I referred to traditional standards of femininity, getting married, and being thin, I was paraphrasing words that came out of her mouth. I was raised in a traditional household, but I understand that a lot of women, especially young women, do not share my values. Frankly, Lucy doesn't either. She has an engineering degree and openly talks about wanting to prioritize her career over starting a family, at least for the foreseeable future, and I couldn't be happier for her. I do realize that I could have done a better job communicating to Molly that I don't care what she does so long as she is a good person and she leaves the world better than she found it. Lastly, because after reading the comments, I fear I painted Molly in a bad light. I should say that Molly has had a rough life due to the divorce between Rob and her biological mother. I have never met her mother, and I don't want to go into gross detail on the internet about someone's life other than my own, but I will say that her relationship with her mother is not great. I think Molly might be projecting aspects of that relationship onto me. However, your comments have helped me realize she is in the wrong in this situation. I've also realized that it isn't just on me to build a relationship with her. She has to work at it too, and so far, she has not. I'm never going to shut her out, but at this point, if she wants to connect with me, she has to be the one making the effort. I really hope the best for her, but she sure isn't getting that dress. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the a-hole. Why did Molly even reach out to you about the dress, given that she is not getting married? What does she even want to do with something she considers trashy? It's obvious that she only wanted to hurt you here because she knew you were giving it to someone else. It has no meaning to her other than as a way to hurt you. You've already given the dress away, so you are done here. Comment 2. You are favoring the one with whom you have a better relationship. That's kind of how things work. Molly rejected your offer. It is your dress to do with as you want. Lucy was given the offer and accepted. Now, if Lucy wants to let Molly use it in the future, that can be addressed when or if Molly is getting married. Not the a-hole. Now, for the update. My last post was about a situation with my stepdaughter, Molly. Things got pretty bad between us after I gave my wedding dress to my son's fiancée, Lucy. I gave the dress to Lucy because she was excited about it, and Molly seemed like she didn't care, so it felt right to give it to the person who actually wanted it. Molly accused me of playing favorites, saying I gave the dress to Lucy because she fit traditional feminine norms. I was hurt by the accusation, but I figured she was just feeling insecure about herself. I felt that any chance of mending our relationship would have to come from Molly, and I was okay with waiting for that to happen. So yeah, it's been about 3 weeks since the last post. I got a text from my son, Mark, saying that he and Lucy wanted to host a family dinner. They said they were really hoping to bring everyone together and fix things. The dinner is set for Saturday, and it's at their house. I hope this dinner goes better than the last one. I really want to have a good relationship with my stepdaughter, but I just feel like every time we're together, it goes downhill. Anyway, on the day of the dinner, I arrived early to help Lucy with preparations. We chopped veggies and talked about wedding plans, which was really exciting for Lucy. She was telling me about her color palette and everything, and I was just like, oh, that sounds so pretty. Molly arrived late, looking messy and distracted. She barely acknowledged me and headed straight to the living room. I said, "Hi, honey." She just grunted something and went on her way. Dinner started with awkward small talk, but quickly shifted to topics about Lucy's wedding dress. Everyone was complimenting her choices, and Lucy was glowing. She asked Molly what she thought, and Molly just snapped. She said she thought Lucy's dress was too traditional and not very unique. I was like, oh God, here we go. Still, I tried to diffuse it by complimenting Lucy's choices, reminding everyone that this was a happy occasion. But then Molly rolled her eyes and made this snide comment about how the dress was just for show. I could see Lucy's smile fading, and I just knew this was going to escalate. So I tried to lighten the mood by bringing up something funny that happened at work, but Molly wasn't having it. She snapped back and accused me of trying to live through Lucy. I was taken aback. Like, what does that even mean? Rob tried to intervene, but it only made things worse. He asked Molly why she was being so rude, and she basically told him to shut up. That was really uncomfortable to watch. So of course, Molly storms off to the bathroom, and there's just this heavy silence at the table. After a few minutes, she comes back, clearly upset, and loudly demands to know why I'm so interested in Lucy and not her. Like, she really wanted everyone to hear that. And then she drops this huge news. she reveals that she's planning to elope and not tell anyone, including her dad. The room went quiet. Everyone was just processing this new information. I didn't even know what to say. I think I was just staring at her. And then Molly accuses me of being judgmental about her choices. She starts saying things like, "You don't approve of me because I'm not like Lucy." I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. Lucy, bless her heart, tried to change the subject to avoid further conflict, but it didn't work. Mark looked frustrated, trying to mediate between his sister and fiancé, but it was like talking to a brick wall. I was just so fed up at that point. So dinner ended abruptly. With Molly leaving in tears and refusing to eat, Rob was frustrated and said he couldn't believe how things got so bad. He looked disappointed, like he didn't even know what to do. Days went by with no contact from Molly. Family tensions rose as Rob felt caught between his wife and daughter. He'd come home grumpy every day, and I could tell he was just really stressed out. The other day, I got a call from Rob at work. He said Molly told him she was moving out. I was like, oh boy, this is not good. Rob was upset and didn't know how to handle the situation. A week later, I found out through Mark that Molly was planning to move in with a friend. She just didn't want to live there anymore. It's such a mess. The dinner that was supposed to fix things just opened up deeper family divides. I hope they can work it out, but I'm not sure how. I'm just trying to keep the peace over here. That's all I can do right now. Edit. After the dinner, Rob and I had a long talk. He said he felt really conflicted about Molly moving out and didn't know how to fix things. He thinks that her moving out will make it harder for them to repair their relationship. I agreed, but at the same time, I know Molly feels really hurt and needs space. I suggested we give her a little time and then reach out later. Rob and I decided that we wouldn't bring up the subject of living arrangements for now. Am I the idiot for refusing to give my late boyfriend's house to the family who rejected him? My boyfriend and I were together for 15 years. I was his senior in high school, and we stayed together until a few months ago when he passed away due to bone cancer. I live in a traditional country where same-sex marriage is not legal but is not a big issue socially. His parents kicked him out when he came out as gay at 17. My family took him in, helped him finish high school, and were supportive as much as they could. I work in human resources, and he worked in information technology. Since he started working, he made good money. He saved enough to purchase a house 10 years ago and was paying the mortgage all by himself. 4 years ago, he received the diagnosis. He reduced his working hours to take care of his health, and I stepped in to pay the mortgage. It was a hard battle, but cancer took him back in March. After he passed away, his family appeared, saying how they regretted not being in his life. Time went by, and a month ago, they reached out to me, asking when they could expect the keys to the house. Since same-sex marriage is not legal, they could claim the house as their family. I told them that the house was in my name. I bought it from him a year into the cancer, so it was legally mine, and I had been paying the mortgage long before that. They got upset and said I was being unreasonable, that it should be legally theirs, that my boyfriend would have wanted to give them the house, which is in fact true. My boyfriend talked a lot about how he would give everything to them if that would fix the relationship between them. Actually, he bought the house as a way to bring them to live with him so they would no longer rent. He also tried to make amends with them all this time, unsuccessfully. I told them that I would give them the house for the price I bought it from my boyfriend, and they would have to pay me back for these 4 years of mortgage, plus take the debt over to their name. They said they didn't have the money and that it was so selfish of me to tell them that, knowing what my boyfriend would have wanted. They proposed just to change the debt to their name and give me no money in return. I declined. They got mad, and the discussion got heated to the point they told me they would bring me to court, accusing me of scamming my boyfriend to have the house. They have been calling and texting me non-stop for the past month, telling me I would be an awful person to my boyfriend if I don't give them the house. I know they can't pay me back all the money I put into the house, but I'm conflicted right now. Some friends told me that I should give them the house and move on with my life. but it just doesn't feel right to me. I'm leaning more towards not giving them the house, but I know my boyfriend would jump out of bed and give it to them. Right now, their words feel empty and as if they just want to take advantage of the situation. I don't need the house, to be honest, but I don't want to give it to them either. We never talked about what I should do with the house after his death, so would I be the awful person if I don't give them the house? To add, thank you. Thank you all for your kind words. I cried a lot with most of the comments. Sorry if I can't keep the pace and reply to everyone. Just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Almost forgot. This blew up in ways I didn't even think about. Thank you all for your kind words. Just to add some information that seems to be needed for some of you. I live in a country in Central America. For safety reasons, I will not give the name. Here, it is not illegal to be queer plus, but same-sex marriage is just not legal. Nothing more. We didn't live in the house. We lived in my apartment. That's why I don't need the house, but I just don't feel right giving it to his parents. Also, almost all his money went to pay medical bills. He didn't want me to put my money into it, which obviously I would have. And buying the house was the best idea we came up with to satisfy both of us. The house is not a big one, around 6 meters by 10 meters, and is in the suburbs. It is not worth the same as in other countries, around $90,000 or a little more. He was such a kind heart, so I'm pretty sure that even if it was a lie, he would have given them the house the moment they acknowledged him as gay and told him they loved him. That's the reason why I'm having a hard time considering this. I can't answer all your comments, but I'm trying to read them all. Thank you for your support. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, my boyfriend talked a lot about how he would give everything to them if that would fix the relationship between them. Not the a-hole. He would have given them the house during his lifetime because he missed them that much. They refused to have anything to do with him, even when he was dying. If you give them the house now, then they benefit from him, even though they rejected him while he was alive. You keep the house because you're the one who loved your boyfriend. You owe his terrible family, who kicked him out at 17, nothing. Comment 2. Not the a-hole. I am sorry for your loss and that you are not even afforded the dignity of being legally considered a widower. What your late partner would have done to fix the relationship with his parents is not a relevant consideration because it's too late to repair those bonds. They didn't try in over a decade, despite his efforts and his illness, and only appeared after he passed. What is relevant is that you own the house and have owned it for several years, and that you both built a life there. Now, for the update. A few days after all that drama, I got a message from my boyfriend's sister saying we needed to meet up to talk about the house. She said it was urgent and threatened to take further action if I didn't agree to meet her. Yeah, pretty bold. So I said fine, let's meet up. I picked a local diner that I knew was usually quiet, where we could talk without too many people listening in. When we met there, my boyfriend's sister arrived with her husband, and you could just feel the tension in the air. They sat down, and without skipping a beat, they started accusing me of exploiting their brother's death for my own benefit. Like, seriously? I told them again that I legally got the house and have been the one paying the mortgage since my boyfriend got sick. Then the sister pulled out some old family photos. She claimed that these photos showed my boyfriend would have wanted them to have the house. What a joke. The husband chimed in, saying the family deserved a chance to honor their brother's memory. I mean, excuse me, but my boyfriend chose to live with me. He made the decision to sell the house to me, and this was after he was sick. They weren't around then. Things got worse from there. The sister accused me of manipulating my boyfriend during his illness, saying I took advantage of him. Her husband started calling me greedy and heartless. I just sat there, staying calm while they yelled, trying to keep my voice down so I wouldn't make a scene in the diner. But yeah, it was hard. Eventually, I had enough. I stood up and said I was leaving. I told them I wasn't going to engage in any more accusations. As I was walking out, I heard the sister say to her husband that they would take legal action. This was just getting out of hand. I knew I had to consult a real estate attorney to figure out my legal standing in all this. so I did. The attorney confirmed that my ownership of the house was solid. She also warned me that I might get dragged into legal disputes, but whatever. I was ready to fight them if I had to. A few days after that, I got a call from my boyfriend's mom asking if we could talk. I was surprised but agreed, and we set up a meeting at a nearby park to have a quieter setting. When we met there, she apologized for how the family had treated my boyfriend in the past. She then suggested creating a memorial space in the backyard of the house for my boyfriend, which actually sounded really nice to me. We talked about how the family could contribute to the memorial while still respecting my ownership of the property. We worked it out, and she promised to talk to the family about it. I thought maybe this was a step in the right direction, but then a few days later, my boyfriend's sister called me again, furious about me meeting with their mom. She accused me of trying to manipulate her mom for sympathy and all that. I stood my ground and told her that the conversation had been productive and that we were actually working on a memorial for my boyfriend. Then, she threatened to involve the media, claiming I was a villain in their family story. I really didn't care about that. I told her I had nothing to hide, and if they wanted to drag my name through the mud in the media, go for it. But I wasn't going to back down for them. That weekend, I went to a local community event that my boyfriend would have loved. It was his kind of thing. I met a bunch of his old friends, and they were really supportive. They shared some fond memories of him, and it felt nice. One of his friends mentioned a charity run they were thinking of organizing in his honor, and I thought it was a great idea. So I decided to plan this charity run. I even invited his family to participate in it as a way to honor their son. I figured it could help ease the tension a little. I sent the invitation to the family, and the sister responded positively, saying they would consider joining. In the end, the family agreed to participate in the charity run, and we set aside all the disputes for that day. The event turned out to be really good for the community, and it felt like a nice way to honor my boyfriend's memory. So, yeah, that's where I'm at for now. It feels like things are kind of settling down, but honestly, I can't shake off the feeling that the family's not done with me yet. I mean, the sister threatened the media, right? Who knows what else she might try. But for now, I'm just focused on getting the charity run off the ground and keeping my boyfriend's memory alive in a way that makes him proud. If anything crazy happens, I'll make sure to update. To answer a few questions, my boyfriend's mom is the one who suggested the memorial in the backyard, and we agreed on a small space with a bench and a few trees. The family will pay for the trees and bench. They also wanted to plant some of their own flowers around the bench. The charity run was a way for his family to connect with his friends and support a good cause. No legal action has happened yet, but I'm prepared if it comes to that. Am I the idiot for telling my ex-wife that our daughter shouldn't be forced to wear her new husband's religious clothing? I am a 37-year-old man. My ex-wife, Deanna, is 36 years old, and I have 2 kids, our daughter Jane, who is 12 years old, and our son Eddie, who is 10 years old. We got married semi-young at 23 and 24, and we divorced amicably 5 years ago. Deanna recently married a man she has been seeing for a few years, whom I will call A. Something I need to bring up here is that I am half Mexican. Deanna is a white woman, and A is of Middle Eastern descent. While I wouldn't say A and I are friends, I do think he is a pretty nice guy and seems like a really good match for Deanna. The kids also like him, so that's another bonus in my book. Deanna and I split custody of the kids. However, Deanna and A got married 2 months ago. Since then, Deanna has chosen to wear a covering, which I am sorry, but the name slips my mind. She converted to A's religion as well, which I am very happy about if that's what she wants. But last week, when she dropped off the kids, I was surprised to see that Jane was wearing one as well. I assumed she must have wanted to wear it and was maybe deciding to convert her faith as well, so I didn't bring it up. I feel that she is old enough to decide for herself, and as an atheist myself, I am all for my children choosing what they believe. A few days ago, I was going to go see a movie with my kids, but told them I had to finish some paperwork in my office first, which took about half an hour. When I walked back into the living room, Jane was wearing one of Eddie's t-shirts and a pair of shorts. We had a conversation that kind of went like this. Me: "What's going on? Jane, are you supposed to take off your covering? I don't really know how any of it works. Sorry if that offends anyone. Eddie, she hates wearing that stuff. So I let her borrow some of my clothes. Yeah, Dad, I hate it. Mom makes me wear it. She says I have to wear it all the time, even at your house. So you aren't choosing to wear it?" "No, I never want to wear it again." I checked her bag, and sure enough, it contained tank tops, underwear, and the coverings, which cover the hair and body, but not the face. I took the kids on a quick trip to Target before the movie to get Jane some clothes of her liking. 2 days ago, when Deanna came by to pick up the kids, she flipped out on Jane for not wearing the traditional clothing. Deanna and I got into a heated argument, and I told her that Jane shouldn't have to wear the covering if she doesn't want to, especially because it's very hot in our city. Deanna argued that she and the kids are now different and follow a stricter religion. I might be the a-hole because I argued back that it is stupid that the religion would force young girls to cover up so much all the time and be so strict about it. Deanna took offense and left with the kids. I feel bad because I don't want to insult a whole country or countries, but I don't think my daughter should have to wear anything she doesn't want to. Am I the a-hole? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, and you better take steps in court to make sure you shut this nonsense down now. Jane is only 12? They are going to make her life a living hell in her teens if you allow this to continue. This is not a my house, my rules situation, and it isn't about comfort or solidarity or being politically correct. Your wife is allowing her husband to force his own religion on your daughter, a child over whom he has absolutely no authority. Shut it down. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You are both parents in co-custody. Unless ordered by a court, which may be coming, Jane can wear whatever you and she decide is fine while you have her during your parenting time at your house. It doesn't matter what your wife and her new husband decide is best for them at their house. They can parent their way at their house, and you can parent the way you wish at your house. But be prepared if this is taken to family court. Now, for the update. I'm back with an update on the situation with Deanna and our daughter Jane. It's been just over 2 days since the argument with Deanna about Jane's covering. I figured things would cool off a bit after we both had a chance to think. Nope. Deanna called to talk about the situation, but the conversation quickly turned into another argument. She accused me of undermining her parenting choices, which is rich coming from her. I explained that I only want Jane to feel comfortable, which she clearly isn't. Deanna insisted that Jane needs to adapt to their new family traditions. All this, like overnight? That's not how it works. The next day was supposed to be a family dinner with Deanna and A. I noticed Jane seemed a little nervous about the dinner. She's usually pretty chill, but there was something off. During the dinner, Deanna brought up Jane's clothing choices in front of everyone. I knew she would. I made some comment about how they need to be proud of their new way of life, and I just wanted to disappear. Jane looked down, clearly uncomfortable with the attention. I couldn't just sit there and watch this, so I intervened, saying Jane should wear whatever makes her happy. Deanna wasn't having it. She accused me of causing embarrassment to our family in front of A. It got so awkward in that room. The dinner ended abruptly, and I felt like the biggest jerk. I suggested we play a game to lighten the mood, but it did little to help. Deanna followed A, leaving me alone to clean up the mess. I tried to change the subject, but we both know why we're really here. He started criticizing my parenting, which was just the worst. Deanna came back with Jane, who was tearful but trying to put on a brave face. Everything was wrapped up pretty quickly. Deanna insisted on taking the kids home, which made me uneasy. The next day, I got a text from Deanna saying she was taking a break from our co-parenting arrangement. She mentioned that A would be handling all decisions regarding the kids moving forward. I tried calling Deanna, but she didn't answer. I was at a loss, so I reached out to Jane via text, but she didn't respond. Days passed, and I saw Jane's Instagram post wearing the covering again. The post included a caption about family pride. It felt like a jab at me, honestly. I decided to visit their home to talk things out. When I arrived, I found Deanna and A discussing future plans for the kids. I felt like I was interrupting something. Deanna noticed me and told me to leave, saying I was no longer welcome. Ouch. I got a call from a mutual friend who mentioned that Deanna and A were planning a family trip. The trip included Jane and Eddie, with no mention of me. That's where we're at right now. Edit. I want to clarify a few things based on what people have been asking. First, I have no issues with Deanna's new religion. My concern is only about Jane's comfort and freedom of choice. Deanna and I have always been respectful of each other's beliefs until now. I also want to point out that A is not the issue either. He's a nice guy, and I don't have a problem with him. My only issue is how quickly Deanna expects the kids to adapt to this new lifestyle. I have no idea if this is normal in their community, but I know Jane is confused. I haven't spoken to Jane since the dinner, and I miss her. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.